Hey everybody, it's been quite a while since I actually popped some electrolytic capacitors in the wood stove, and I do have a pretty good collection building up, so I figure I'll go ahead and finish off some of them tonight, since we have a decent sized coal bed in the wood stove. Here are the victims for tonight. We have some. These are a mixture of actually failed capacitors and a couple of capacitors that are just bad brands that I pulled out of my motherboard stash. We have some TPOs. Well, let me see. We have one TPO. We have a JPCE-TUR. We have a G-Luxon, Capson, some bulging Chemicons, well, one bulging ChemiCon, another G-Luxon, let's see, another JPC-TUR, and two other ChemiCons. Now let's go ahead and chunk these in there. I'm going to cut this draft fan off now that the fire has actually started to build up a little bit. Let's go ahead and load it up. The fire is good and quiet, so that way you can actually hear the caps pop. That's what I always like to see. Dang log fell over, so listen to him. That's 3. Here's another one. That one vented pretty good. I'll set the camera down and then close this up. You go grab a few more. Ooh. Nice. This is why I highly advise that you not do this in an open fireplace, and do not do this with large capacitors like the primary caps in a power supply. The only caps I do this to are the little bitty caps that come on the motherboard or the secondary side of a power supply. Let me go grab a few more capacitors. Okay, I just grabbed some TPOs. These are all TPO capacitors, and almost every one of them is bulging. I have 5 capacitors, 4 are bulging, but none of them are vented, or so I see anyway. I'm going to rearrange this log here so that we can actually see the coal bed. There are the victims from the last capacitor venting. Okay, that log is now out of the way. And before I throw the next round of capacitors in, let's go ahead and look at the ones that I've already vented. And all of them have vented, so there's the victim from the last popping session. Get this camera in focus so you can see them better. It's kind of hard to do this with when you're trying to hold a flashlight at the same time. There are the victims. Now it's time for the next round. And of course I'm being quiet for a reason, because I'm the last one up. Everybody else has went to bed. It's going on 11:30. Now I'm going to go ahead and load the next batch of capacitors in. This ought to be very interesting. Get the camera properly aimed. Of course, I'll give you a better view once I get the capacitors in there and the door closed. Actually see them this time. Well, the TPOs didn't really put on much of a show, so I'm going to grab some other capacitors and try them. Okay, this time I have 4 ChemiCon caps, and of course all the ChemiCons in this video are KZGs, which is a bad series, and that's why I'm destroying them. So let's see how they do. If you recall the first round, we actually had some caps that vented very good. The TPOs apparently are just silent. They just burn their bungs out and don't do much anything else. So go ahead and chunk in these ChemiCons. Let's see how they do. This might be pretty interesting. Okay, the ChemiCons are in. There's 1. There's 2. 3. Look at that smoke. Don't know if the 4th one's gonna go or not. I may have not aimed it right when I got off the shovel. So apparently I figured something out here. Those ChemiCons are the ones that vent very well. Okay, that was number 4. Number 4 finished off with a bit of flames. The electrolyte caught on fire when it vented. So as I mentioned, with the third round, we have come to a conclusion that those ChemiCon KZGs vent very well in the fireplace. The TPOs are quiet. They just sit there and burn their bungs out. So anyways, that was another electrolytic capacitor cremation by Cube Computer Company. And as I mentioned before, in other videos, do not repeat what you're seeing unless you're willing to take all responsibility for your actions. This is just for entertainment purposes. So anyways, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.